Hi folks, this is Tony for aminutetomidnight.com. Just a very quick update. I don't know how many of you are aware that every year there is what is called the World Government Summit. I did actually report on it last year. This year it was held between the 10th and the 12th of February. And basically what it is, well, this is on the World Government Summit website. The World Government Summit is a global platform dedicated to shaping the future of governments worldwide. Each year the summit sets the agenda for the next generation of governments, focusing on how they can harness innovation and technology to solve universal challenges facing humanity. And you can see further down here, they deal with everything to do with dialogue for happiness and well-being and global AI governance forum. The World Government Summit will host a second global AI governance forum in recognition of the rapidly evolving artificial intelligence technology, and so on. The World Government Summit is held in Dubai in the United Arab Emirates. It's annual and it hosts over 4,000 participants and many speakers from 150 different countries. I won't go into all the speakers, but of note, besides a lot of Islamic ones, you have Christine Lagarde, the head of the IMF, for example, and also celebrities like Harrison Ford. And it claims to be the only global organisation dedicated to shaping the future of governments and setting the agenda for the next generation of governments worldwide. Now, something that's particularly notable this year, this is an article by Michael Snyder. It starts off saying, after signing one world religious covenant, Pope Francis makes his next push. Just days after the Pope signed the most important interfaith document in history, which we'll have a look at in a minute, he had the opportunity to address the global political leaders by video at the World Government Summit in Dubai. During his remarks, he once again stressed the need for global unity, and he encouraged those attending to embrace sustainable development. But he also stressed that sustainable development will never succeed without solidarity.
Lo sviluppo dell'economia, la tutela dell'ambiente, l'impiego delle tecnologie. Vi auguro.
Pope Francis is certainly not the vicar of Christ, that's for sure. He's far more interested in promoting social programs and Marxism than spreading the gospel of Jesus Christ. The book of Revelation certainly tells us that we are heading for a world government, and Pope Francis is doing his bit to push us towards it. And it's also interesting to note that according to this article in Prophecy in the News from January 15th, the Pope told an Italian newspaper La Repubblica that the United States of America has a distorted vision of the world and Americans must be ruled by a world government as soon as possible for their own good. And as I mentioned just before about the blend between the Pope and Catholicism and Islam, well, potentially Christianity and all of them together lumped into a one world government in the future, the Pope or one world religion in the future, the Pope and Islam's most important imam just signed a covenant that pushes us much closer to a one world religion, says Michael Snyder from February the 6th, 2019 in the Most Important News. A historic interfaith covenant was signed in the Middle East on Monday, and the mainstream media in the United States has been almost entirely silent about it. Sheikh Ahmed al-Tayeb is considered to be the most important imam in Sunni Islam, and he arrived at the signing ceremony in Abu Dhabi with Pope Francis hand in hand in a symbol of interfaith brotherhood. But this wasn't just a ceremony for Catholics and Muslims. According to a British news source, the signing of this covenant was done in front of a global audience of religious leaders from Christianity, Islam, Judaism, and other faiths. In other words, he says there was a concerted effort to make sure that all of the religions of the world were represented at this gathering. And according to the official Vatican website, a tremendous amount of preparation went into the drafting of this document, and it encourages believers from all religions to shake hands, embrace one another, kiss one another, and even pray with one another. Well, a true Christian cannot pray to another God. I'm sorry. Pope Francis is showing us his true nature and pushing us to a world government and a world religion. Shows us that either he is an ignoramus or, more likely, a deliberate player in pushing us towards the beast system that the book of Revelation and book of Daniel and others talks about. Also, let's not forget back in July 2018, Jerusalem belongs to all religions, says Pope Francis, according to Egypt Today. All the governments around the world should find a solution to the Jerusalem issue, supporting the two-state solution to settle the conflict between Israel and Palestine, Pope Francis said Sunday in Bari, Italy. Pope Francis also expressed his rejection to the US decision to recognise Jerusalem as Israel's capital. Once again, the Pope is showing that he is a fake vicar of Christ and not spreading the gospel, but spreading things which the Bible clearly tells us not to do. If he were in fact a true vicar of Christ, he would know Zechariah 12:3, for example, says that in that day I'll make Jerusalem a burdensome stone for all people. All that burden themselves with it shall be cut in pieces, though all the people of the earth be gathered together against it. That's the King James Bible. And also, for example, Joel chapter 3 verse 2, it tells us what happens to the nations that divide up the land. And Pope Francis claims to be the successor, as all popes, the successor to St. Peter. Well, if he was a true successor to St. Peter, he would preach the same gospel that Peter preached, such as in Acts 4 verse 12, Peter himself saying, "Neither is there salvation in any other, for there is none other name under heaven given among men whereby we must be saved." That's talking, of course, about the name of Jesus Christ. And yet this current fake successor to St. Peter is telling people to pray to other gods and people of other faiths. So where is that salvation and no other in Pope Francis's false gospel? I just want to very quickly finish by addressing issues that have come up in videos of supposedly Pope Francis being stripped of power and replaced by 3 other cardinals running the Vatican, and that Pope Francis has had children, illicit children, and they've been sacrificed in human sacrifices at the Vatican and so on. I mean, stories like that are very difficult to prove or disprove, and I suggest don't be distracted too much by them, because you can guarantee that if Pope Francis were to be removed by the undercurrent in the Vatican, that he will not be replaced by anybody any better. He is currently doing an excellent job of promoting the world government and the one world religion. I can't see what they would gain by removing him, unless they are wanting someone that's going to push it even harder and faster than what he is. So don't be too distracted by it, would be my thinking. I can't, like I say, either prove or disprove those stories myself. But keep your focus on God first and foremost. Make sure you have salvation in Jesus Christ, and then don't be distracted by some of the other things which are rapidly leading towards one world government and a one world religion. So that's about it for this short video. I hope it's been helpful. Don't forget our website at minutetomidnight.com, and we do run this completely 100% by donations. If you want to help us, you can donate at the website, and that'd be much appreciated. Okay, that's about it. We'll catch you with another video in a few days' time.